Welcome to Beyond Sunday with Pastor Nick Williams. South Shore Community Church exists to help all people find and follow Jesus. Join us weekly as we talk through current sermons, theology, parenting issues, and how to have a gospel-centered marriage. We are praying that today's message helps you grow closer to Jesus. Now, here's your host, Pastor Nick.
Hey, podcasters, for the month of July, we're going to do something a little bit different. I'm usually off stage in the month of July, and so I have a little bit more time, and my mind is always diving into new things and trying to learn as much as I can when I have a little bit more freedom in my life. And so for this month, I am going to drown you in a little bit more podcasts than normal. I don't expect all of you to keep up, but if you want to keep up, there'll be a podcast every day, Monday through Friday of this month. It's going to be an intentional dive into leadership. And this year, instead of diving into something new, I've decided to dive into something old. Today, we're going to dive into the first of John Maxwell's 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. And so this month will be all about leadership. And my hope for you is that you can take some of these principles, apply them to your own life, and grow as a leader. The law of the lid is the first law, and it states that leadership ability is the lid that determines a person's level of effectiveness. The lower your ability to lead, the lower the lid on your potential. Now, let's explore what this means and how it can impact our leadership journey. Truth be told, this book holds a special place in my heart because it was a textbook for a leadership class I took in seminary. It was the first book of John Maxwell's that I read, and it was the first time I realized that I could actually learn and work on being a better leader. It opened my eyes to the fact that leadership is not just an innate ability, but a skill that can be developed. Up to that point, I just really believed that you were either born a leader or you weren't born a leader. And my leadership skills weren't strong at that time. And so I just thought, well, this is the lot I have in life. And sitting in that class, Dr. Bill Purvis was my first professor. His schedule was crazy. And so he ended up stepping out of that. Dr. Stephen King came in and was the professor for the rest of that semester. And honestly, it just was one of those life-altering moments. And so this book, I've got a copy on my desk right now, has been one of those books that holds a special place in my life. And so I hope today, as we walk through the 21 laws over this month, that it really does impact your life. So the law of the lid. The law of the lid essentially means that your leadership ability is the lid on your personal and organizational effectiveness. The higher your leadership ability, the greater your effectiveness. Maxwell defines this by saying leadership ability is the lid that determines a person's level of effectiveness. The lower an individual's ability to lead, the lower the lid on his potential. And so, at some point, you have to figure out what are my lids and how can I raise those lids higher? Think of it this way. If you're a leader at a level 7 on a scale of 1 to 10, your effectiveness will never surpass a 6. Your potential impact is always one step behind your leadership ability. This idea might be troubling because it suggests a cap on our potential based on various factors such as people skills, planning abilities, vision, dedication to success, and past results. But understanding this law is honestly the first step to overcoming it. Some factors that determine your leadership lid include your personal skills, your planning abilities, your vision, your dedication to success, your past results. While very few people are 10s in leadership, understanding your lid helps you see where you and your followers stand and where growth is needed. The good news is the law of the lid is flexible. Your current leadership level is not set in stone. With dedication and effort, you can raise your leadership lid and in turn, your effectiveness. As a leader, you're the lid on your company's growth. As a leader, you are the lid on your company's growth. When you lift the lid by growing your leadership capabilities, you raise the entire potential of your company. On the other hand, if you stay in place, you'll hold back your entire company. And that is why it's so important to invest in personal leadership development. Proverbs 29:18 says this, where there's no vision, the people perish, highlighting the importance of leadership and vision in guiding and growing an organization. That's true in your own life as well. If there is no vision in your life for your growth, for your deepening your leadership abilities, your organization is going to struggle. You personally will struggle. Vision is a crucial component of leadership, and without it, people and organizations flounder. Consider the story of Moses. Initially, he felt inadequate to lead the Israelites out of Egypt. He doubted his abilities and feared failure. However, as he grew in his relationship with God and developed his leadership skills, he successfully led them towards the promised land. Moses' journey is a powerful example of how one's leadership lid can be raised through faith, learning, and perseverance. Now, John Maxwell famously said, "Everything rises and falls on leadership." This quote encapsulates the essence of the law of the lid. Leadership impacts every aspect of an organization, and its effectiveness is directly tied to the leader's abilities. Another insightful quote from John Maxwell is, "Leadership is not about titles. It's not about positions. It's not about flowcharts. It is about one life influencing another." This reminds us that leadership is fundamentally about influence and the positive impact that we can have on others. Now imagine a small business owner who excels at their craft but struggles with managing their team. Their business growth is capped because of their leadership ability being the lid. As they invest in learning leadership skills, they see their business flourish. This hypothetical story illustrates how raising the leadership lid can lead to significant improvements in effectiveness and success. Consider Abraham Lincoln, whose leadership during the Civil War preserved the United States. His ability to lead despite immense challenges and opposition was crucial in one of the nation's most challenging times. Lincoln's leadership lid was high, enabling him to guide the country through its darkest hours. Maxwell once interviewed a resort owner who said that when his company buys a resort, he immediately takes two actions. The first is he trains the staff on excellent customer service, and the second is he fires the resort's president. His reasoning is if the president were any good, the resort would have been in better shape before he bought it. John Maxwell summarizes that everything rises and falls on leadership, reminding us that even in this guy's story, it matters. This story underscores the importance of strong leadership in determining the success of an organization. Now, let's talk about how you and I can apply the law of the lid to our own leadership journey. It's one thing to know what the lid law is. It's another to say, how can I change my life? So let me give you 5 things. Number 1, rate your leadership. On a scale of 1 to 10, the important thing here is to be honest with yourself. Don't overly think how great you are, but don't undermine your leadership. Number 2, rate the key people in your organization. The leaders under you that make the organization run, the ones that are key to things, rate your abilities of 4 or 5 of the people who work with you. Number 3, seek feedback. Ask everyone in your organization to rate you and your team as well. What this does is this provides a comprehensive view of where you stand. Sometimes we're blinded to our own abilities and inabilities, and sometimes we need other people to speak that into our lives. And so allow people in your organization to rate you and your team. Don't take it personal. Take it as a measure of growth. Number 4, formulate a plan. Develop a plan to raise the lid number for you and the key people on your team. So you're creating a plan for yourself. If you're a level 6 leader, means that you'll never rise above the influence of a level 5. How do I get from a level 6 to level 7 to level 8? But make that plan for you and the key people on your team. If you want your organization to grow, if you want your leadership to grow, you have to have a plan. Identify areas for improvement and set actionable goals. Number 5, list your major goals. Write down your major goals, especially those that rely on collaboration with others. Your leadership ability will directly affect your impact on these goals. Now remember, leadership is a journey, not a destination. Continue to grow and develop your leadership skills. Seek out resources, mentors, and training to help you raise your leadership lid. Today, we explored the law of the lid and how it impacts our effectiveness as leaders. Understanding this law is crucial for anyone who wants to maximize their potential and the potential of their organization. Join us next time as we delve into the second law, the law of influence. You won't want to miss it. It'll be here tomorrow. Thank you for listening to Beyond Sunday. If you enjoyed today's podcast, please subscribe, leave a review, and until next time, Keep growing and leading with purpose.
Thank you for tuning in to Beyond Sunday. We hope the conversations and insights shared here have brought you encouragement and have deepened your journey of faith. If today's episode has inspired you, we invite you to follow or subscribe to our podcast so you never miss an opportunity to grow closer to Jesus alongside us. Don't forget to share this podcast with friends and family who might be blessed by it too. Until next time, thanks for joining us, and may God bless you abundantly.